Hey guys, it's SRC Reptiles, and today I'm showing you my leopard gecko's new redecorated tank. So he still is in a 20 gallon, but I have gone in and used excavator clay and completely redone the way it's decorated. So like over here in the corner we've got some stairs. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if I put my hand down here, there's like a level to each one, and then up here there's a little base where I made for his calcium dish to sit right back there in the corner. Right up here at the front we have a cave that actually goes, well, you can't really see it because it's covered by the side of the gargoyle gecko's tank, but I'll try to show you best I can in here. But there's like a little cave, little hideaway area there. He of course has his hammock, which this piece of wood that I have here has made a little pathway for him to climb up, which I'm going to put him in here in a second to make sure that he can actually climb that. I don't think there'll be any issues. Before he was climbing up that plant to get into here, and this is just silk, so I wanted to change that. Over here where his cork log is, we've got a little area where he can kind of peek out, and then down here at the end he can peek out, but obviously you can't really see that. And down here he's got a couple areas here at the front and there on the side that he can go in to this little tunnel. Over here we have his humid hide, used to be anyway, and I just used the plastic container, flipped it upside down, and covered that, so that's a little cold hide along with his log over here. He has some steps, or he can get on top of the log, and then we have here his humid hide, which is in the process of being made. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with these when they fully dry, if they're going to stay or if they're going to fall. We'll have to see. I do have some leftover excavator clay, so if they do fall, then I'll just try to figure out a different way to potentially put something there, like maybe have something in the center, like maybe a piece of metal, and then have the clay around that metal and then make this so that it doesn't just collapse inwards. But that's only if it actually does collapse. So luckily this little bit doesn't weigh much, so for some random reason if it were to fall when Lemon Drop is climbing on it, at least it's not super duper heavy and it won't hurt him. Also, it's like a 2-inch drop from up here to down here, so I wanted to make sure that it wasn't like a huge amount of clay that went into making these archways, so that it would be safe just in case. And then of course his hot hide is down here. I don't remember if I said that, so I've got his heat pad in there. That entire back corner back here is all heat pad, and this hide spans this entire area from here to there. It's a very big hide. It's a really nice one and he enjoys it. For now, I just have his water dish and his food dish in there. I'm not putting any of the other decorations because I want to allow it to dry out as much as possible, but for him to go back in here for the evening, I wanted to at least put his food and water dish in here. It's been drying for 12 hours because I did this way early this morning at like 8 in the morning. And it is, let me look, it's 7:19, so it hasn't been completely 8 hours yet. Or I mean 12 hours. But it's very close. So I felt it with my hand, and yeah, the steps are still damp. And obviously the archway and the building, the structure is still damp, but most of the other stuff is dry enough to the point where I'm not too worried about him eating any of it. Which I doubt he will anyway. He's an adult. It's not like he's going to go around just biting stuff, and his food gets fed to him in a dish, so he has no reason to go walking around and biting at the ground and stuff. He's been in his tote here all day, and I'm sure he cannot wait to go back into his actual tank, because he's been going crazy. Earlier he was scratching at the sides and stuff. Now he's kind of calmed down a little bit more. But I wanted to kind of film his reaction to getting introduced to this new tank and see what he does and how he reacts to it. So just for ease of you guys being able to see, because obviously I have to turn his heat light off to put him in here, I'm just going to leave the flash on. Hopefully it won't bother him too much. He's not a super duper sociable leopard gecko, but he's not the type that he absolutely hates being pet, but you can tell he's ready to go. He's like, hey, I want out. So here's Mr. Lemon Drop. He actually, I'm pretty sure, is a year old this month. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to look and see when he was born. But it's crazy that I've had him that long, because I bought him at a month old. And he has grown so much. He probably weighs pretty much 80 grams now. I haven't weighed him yet. Whoop. The one reason that even though I like leopard geckos, I would not suggest them for a first-time pet unless you have a super docile one. Because he'll just jump right out of my hand just like he did there. Yes, I know he's anxious to get out of here to get into his actual tank, but he has no resolve for making sure he's not actually harming himself, and he just jumps right out of my hand. So we'll just start out by putting him up here. Okay, so I went ahead and put his heat lamp in there. So of course that, where he is sitting, is his actual basking area. Which I might just go ahead and move this to the center here, so that, like I said, that heat can help it dry. And hopefully he'll come over here to the log and not just frickin' try to jump down. It's like, dude, it's right here. Hey. Right over here, buddy. I'm hoping that the movement of my hand, he's really scoping it out. Dude, no, seriously, yes, come over here, thank you. It's like, this is your new bridge that you need to use, not just, oh, okay then. He is scaling it. I know it's not completely harmful because when I was watching a video, they said when it's half dry you could stick your animals in there if they liked burrowing, and that way they could actually dig through the excavator clay and kind of make their own dens. So I know that obviously it's not going to hurt him to go in here when it's still kind of setting with the area over here and over here. It's not going to hurt him to go in here early, but if he was younger I'd probably be more concerned. And yeah, he is doing a little bit of licking and stuff, but I highly doubt he's going to actually eat any of this. He probably doesn't know what to think with all this new stuff that he can actually climb on and whatnot that's actually going to be sturdy and not fall easily. Oh, he's going to check out, I think, the little cave area, or are you going to come back over here? Yeah, he's going back there. I wanted to make sure he had like a little secluded area that he could kind of hide if he didn't want to go in his hot hide but still wanted to be warm. And also another reason I added those stairs is if he were to get too warm sitting like about 3 or 4 inches up here above that heat lamp, he could also hang out down here where he is now and still feel that warmth. And then of course his not thermostat, his thermometer and his hygrometer are actually suction cupped to the glass right behind those leaves. So right now it says it's 73 degrees and it's 41% humidity, which you want to shoot for roughly 30 to 40%. For leopard geckos like max, obviously because of the wet clay, it's going to be higher. But you want to kind of shoot for the lower end because you don't want it to be too dry. And then of course have a humid hide for when they go into shed. That way you're not having to worry about stuck shed and anything like that. Oh. I'm sure he'll figure out eventually that he can just climb this over here, but if he can haul himself up onto that hammock, I'll be impressed. I don't really know what he's doing. I have no idea what he's doing. He's never done that before. It's funny. Heck, he might actually be able to just climb right up onto that hammock from right there, so it looks like he'll probably have 2 different ways that he can get up onto that hammock, either just climbing up there or getting on this little ramp I made for him. We'll see if he might come over and explore the other side. If he doesn't, I'll just pause it here and I'll skip ahead to when he actually walks over in that direction. He is on the move, except I think he's possibly going to check out his hot hide. Now I will point out real quick while he's going in there, I put a very thin layer, just enough to coat the bottom of the entire tank. One, because I did not want it to be too compacted, especially in his hot hide, because the thicker the layer of substrate on the bottom of the tank, the more that heat is going to be amplified, because the clay is absorbing that heat. So when I was reading online, I think it was, or watching a video, they had pointed out to put a very thin layer on the bottom of the tank if you're using a under the tank heat mat. On the bag, it says to not use the clay in tanks that have the heat mats under the tank. But when I was watching a previous video, like I said, as long as it's a really thin layer, obviously I have a thermostat controlling it, so it's not going to get too hot. And that probe is taped to the glass with Scotch tape, and then of course it's covered with a very thin layer of the excavator clay. So the thermostat obviously is controlling it to make sure it doesn't get too hot. I checked it earlier with my little point and shoot digital thermometer that I have, and it was reading, I think, like 82, and I have it set on 83, so that's obviously perfectly fine. I had it set on 84 before I put him on excavator clay, but I turned it down a degree just to make sure it wasn't getting too warm because of, you know, the clay being in there now to absorb that heat. It kind of acts more like a rock would versus with Eco Earth, that's more dirt kind of substrate. And I know that dirt obviously holds warmth, but I don't think it amplifies it quite as much as, say, clay or a stone would. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to support the channel. It always encourages me to make more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.